Hey everybody, this is Christopher Small, and this is episode 86 of the Building a Law Firm podcast. If you are new to the show, this show is all about how to make your first or your next six figures with your law firm. I share sort of all the tips, the tricks, the strategies, the tactics, the ups, the downs, the ins, the outs of my own law firm. Teach you how to do the things that I've been doing. And I'm excited to be here with you. We get to come in here twice a week and talk some shop. Most of the time, I try to talk to you about a mixture of mindset, of actual literal strategies and tactics. And the goal really is to sort of help you learn how to be a great law firm owner. Because guess what? We didn't get taught that in law school. And if you didn't learn it in life, they don't teach you it in college either, by the way. I'm not even a business major, as a psychology major, but they don't teach you business in college. It's sort of learned via the School of Hard Knocks. And my goal here with this podcast, with Infinity Clients Workshop, with everything that I do, is really to sort of shorten that learning curve for you, help you succeed. Because this can be a tough business. All business is tough, and anything I can do to help you makes me feel good. That's why I do it. Okay, I think we get jobbed at law school a little bit. I'm going on sort of a mini rant here. It's not even the point, but law school doesn't really give us the skills to be successful business owners. It doesn't really teach us a mindset for success in general. I don't think it doesn't even teach us how to be good lawyers, because if it did, they teach us how to get business. They teach us how to use the leverage of our knowledge to just become our best people. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm trying to make you the best you can be, while I'm doing the same thing for myself. I have a lot to learn. I'm doing experiments all the time, and I really just love to share them with you here. And that sort of brings us to today's episode. It's sort of a little bit of a strategic and definitely a mindset talk, all wrapped up into one sort of thing. And today's episode sort of is born from a lunch meeting I had yesterday. Every Monday I meet with a couple of financial planners, and the same ones, and we just talk. So I talk about what's going on, we talk about what's working, what's not. And the thing about the financial planning space, depending on sort of who you're affiliated with and some things like that, is they're really heavily regulated. So they can't just create a Facebook ad and throw it up. They can't just hop on, even create a podcast like this and just talk. It has to go through the compliance people. It has to be approved and blah blah blah. They have all these rules, and it kind of sucks. And it's also, I think, they're sort of put in a place of fear, and I think lawyers find themselves in this place as well. The fear of being sort of judged as not being professional for some of the things that they would be doing. Fear of maybe doing the wrong thing and getting in trouble, even though the actual trouble that you'll get in if you do a bad ad, as long as it's not misleading or misrepresentative, is going to be minimal at best. And plus, it's hard work to figure this stuff out, right? There's a big learning curve at the beginning to figure it out, and you have to pay a little bit of money potentially, whether it be for hosting or for them. It's these compliance services, right? And so it's really easy just to say no. Well, I was having a conversation with these guys, and one guy in particular who was telling me about, that he had a little bit of a down year last year. He's really good at what he does, and he's got, I think, the potential to be great, to really create a fantastic business and crush it. But he's kind of running into some internal resistance because of the things I just said. He does a lot of networking, he does a lot of events. He's not necessarily afraid to spend money on them, but he's getting, I think, a little discouraged because he's not seeing the return that he wants on those investments. And so, we had a little bit of a talk after lunch. We had a little bit of a talk, just one-on-one, and he was telling me about some ideas that he had, and I wanted to, and it really sort of brought home some of the same internal conflicts that I think we as law firm owners have often. Okay, And so that then turned into some advertising myths that I thought we would sort of dispel today. Just a couple, just the ones that came out of this conversation. And I think, so let's just run through them. And I'm totally spitballing this, okay? I'm just going through the conversation that we had, and I'm coming up with these myths as we speak. So you're welcome for that. But I think the first one is that if one advertising platform worked for someone somewhere, it will work for you, okay? He was telling me about a service, this may sound familiar, that will sort of get leads for him and then send them to him, and then he just has to talk to him and sign them up, right? And the picture that they painted was a good one. It was rosy, If this sounds like sort of every client referral program you've ever heard of, then you're right. And he seemed to be relatively confident with what they were actually saying they could provide, but there was going to be an outlay of money that he had to make to sort of get this service sent to him, okay? And he was curious about whether I thought it was going to work or not. And I told him what I tell everybody, what I would tell you. And the answer is, I don't know. There's only one way to find out. That is to do the program and see if it works, right? Now, with that being said, you have to think about what does it working actually mean. And this is also where we get hung up, right? Let's say this program costs $5,000. Okay, it's a 1-year subscription, $5,000. What they're saying is they're going to send him like 8 clients a month, I think is what he could sign up, which would be awesome, right? I would take that, $5,000 for 8 clients a month. So the first thing I asked him was, look, if you sign up for the service and you get no clients, will you be devastated? Will you lose your business? And he said, no, not really. Clients are still coming from other places. I would spend this money sort of on marketing in other places. So it would hurt. It'd be painful, but it wouldn't kill me. Great. Excellent. One hurdle overcome. Okay. If you're on your last legs and you need this thing to work, it's going to be tough for that to happen. You're going to have to either roll the dice or come up with something else. Okay. Then the second thing I asked him was, well, how do you know if it's good or not? Right? And he's like, well, I'm not sure. And this is what I told him. My strategy is for any new advertising venture, my number one goal, I consider it a success if I break even. Okay? If you make your money back, it is a relatively successful venture. That is step one with anything you do. Whether it's Google advertising, Facebook advertising, a print ad, a networking event, anything. Goal number one is to just break even. Okay? If you break even, at least you're going to learn something and you're not going to get hit in the pocketbook for it. Okay? So I asked him, okay, how many people do you need to break even? He told me, and I was like, okay, do you think you can do that at least? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, this is sort of a no-brainer. You should try it, right? And then the other thing he started talking about was, and we all do this, right? Well, if it's like 6 to 8 clients, that could be awesome. And then, you start doing the math, like I call it like pre-math, I think. You're like 8 clients, $5,000, that's $40,000 a month, that's that's $450,000 a year. I'm crushing, blah, 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 right? I'm like, whoa. What you really need to think about is this. Now, you've done the first 2 calculations. The third calculation is what would make this a resounding success. Okay, and spending $5,000 for a year and making $40,000 a month, that's not a resounding success. That is a fantasy. Okay, I'm just going to break it down for you. All right, fantasy. And then I asked him this. I said, if you could guarantee your clients 100% return on the investments that they make, so if they put in $1, they'll get $2 back, would they consider you a success? He said, yeah. You would be, and I said, would you consider it to be a success? And he said, yes. And I said, would you consider yourself to be a prodigy? He said, yes. Okay? So even making a 1-to-1 return or a 2-to-1 return on anything is going to be considered a success. Okay? So really, if he can spend $5,000 and make 10, he should consider that a success. Now, $5,000 doesn't seem like that much in the grand scheme of things, and it's not. But the goal then is to find a bunch of these different things where you can invest $5,000. Because if you do it 10 times over, you invest $50,000 and then you put an extra $50,000 in your pocket, right? This is sort of brings us to the second advertising myth or belief, I guess. And that is that there is some sort of platform out there. There's some hidden, place where money just falls into your pocket, but it doesn't really work like that. Okay, the way it works is you gauge your returns on your ad spend, and then if you want to make more money, you spend more money, right? So, if you can spend $1 and make $2, then you know that you can spend $100 and make $200. You know you can spend $1,000 and make $2,000, right? That's the way that it works. That's the way all this advertising works. So when you see that somebody has said, look, I made $1 million this year, for example, you can guess if they're doing any advertising that they spent a considerable amount of money in advertising, right? It's just the way that it works. It doesn't, your money earned on your ads doesn't increase unless you increase the money that you spend on your advertising. So that's sort of myth number 2. Belief in unrealistic returns and unrealistic expectations. Now, I will say this. I think it is possible to spend $1 and make like 7, or spend $1 and make 10. That is a realistic return. But when it comes to considering an advertising or marketing venture a success, I would do 2 to 1 would be totally okay with me. It's something that I would continue to do, right? It may not be something I pour everything in, but that is one great channel to have. So, for example, with my buddy, if he could spend $5,000 and make 10 every year, why wouldn't he do that? He just puts his $5,000. He knows it's going to spit off a return for him, and then he can go find another platform to use to work on. Okay, so that's sort of myth number 2, right? And then, myth number 3 really is, so the shift then turned to sort of social media advertising, Facebook advertising. And this really isn't a myth, but it's a problem that everybody has. And it's really just getting ahead of yourself, going too far, too fast. We started talking about Facebook advertising, and I said, look, you should just this is exactly what I do. I said, you should just make one video per week, call it, financial planning TV or whatever you want, and start putting it out there on Facebook and promoting it to your target client and talking about the things that they care about, and people will start to come. It's the same thing that I do for my law firm. It's the same thing I'm doing right now for you. And the reason I said you should do a video is because it works, right? Do you feel like you know me? I hope you do, because I'm myself, right? I'm completely relaxed right now and at ease. If you walked into my office right now, this is the same way that I would talk to you. And I hope that it gives you a sense of trust. It allows you to see and hear the expertise sort of in my voice. And you can see that I'm real. You can see that I'm not faking it, And he could do the same thing, right? But instead of just pulling out his iPhone, which is what I have here, I just have a microphone hooked into my computer that I record the voice on, and then I put the two together. Instead of just doing that simple thing, there's no lighting, I'm just using the outside light, and sending it to his compliance people, figuring out how to do this simple thing, and then just doing this for like 2 or 3 months. Super simple. Seeing what happens. They're talking about doing all this other crazy stuff, right? So I guess myth number 3 is that it has to be complicated. It does not have to be complicated, right? My phrase for this year, and probably for the rest of my life, is embrace the monotony of success. Okay? What that means is success is not sexy. It's not exciting. Sometimes it's not even fun. It's boring. It's doing the same thing over and over again. This is episode 86 of this podcast. I did 160 episodes of this version of the podcast before this. I'll probably do hundreds and thousands more episodes, because it's what makes me successful. Same thing with estate planning TV. You find something that works. You just keep doing it over and over and over again, and you layer other things on top. It's just the way that it goes. All right. So those are probably three good myths, right? Been going for 15 minutes. It's plenty of time. To recap, if I can, I don't even know if I can recap, which is kind of sad. I think so. Number one, right? There are no sure things. You must experiment with your ads to see if they work. Number two, you need to know what a good advertising what am I looking for? Experiment looks like, what a successful one looks like, right? And then C, you need to, what was the last thing I talked about? Don't make it complicated, right? Don't get bogged down in the details. No paralysis by analysis, okay? Just do the easy thing first, and then increase your complication and as your expertise in the ad platform and in marketing in general increases as well. All right, that's it. Okay, if you want more of this, if you want the inside track, if you want to be able to sit down and meet and talk with me every week, join Infinity Clients Workshop. Just go to buildingalawfirm.com/infinity and join. Okay, it's $97 a month. It's extremely affordable. You know, I just showed you how to do the analysis on whether or not it's going to be good for you. You know, can you make $97 a month based off the information that I share with you? Yes, easily. Okay, it's way better than that. You know, I priced it low to make it easy to get in. Right? I want to make it an easy decision for you. Plus, we get into the how-to, right? And you'll get better. So anyway, you can also just keep listening to the podcast. Obviously, I have a ton of free information out there as well, free training and stuff like that. But if you want the really good stuff, if you want to really go faster, Infinity Clients Workshop is the way to go. So buildingalawfirm.com/infinity. All right. Thanks for your time. I'm so happy that you're here. I hope this helps. I hope that you are seeing the success that you want and deserve. And talk to you next time. See ya.